All right, friends, it's Team Mun. We are back with a new video on JonniShreve. We're going to do a video on the gym lifting gear recruiting fitness slave himself, JonniShreve. Yes, we're going to do a reaction video today to his video, JonniShreve. So, JonniShreve says, this training technique is outdated. Are you kidding me? Okay.
What is up? It's your boy JonniShreve, aka Mr. Tell Like It Is. Guys, we've been wrong about time and attention this entire time. Well, according to Wolf Coaching's last video, outdated.
Well, you've been wrong about just about everything. Yeah.
4 workout ideas science just debunked. And I watched it, saw it, and I'm like, wait a minute. So I need a little bit of your help to make sure that I'm not just hearing or seeing things, because I just might think that they might be wrong again. Let's get into it.
What's wrong? Are you talking about people taking cosmetics to create a fake fucking artificial look that you're carrying on your body, dude? Or are you talking about doing it in the real world?
These workout ideas are outdated. Focusing on...
Man, this is another fool. You're making a video about a fool. All right.
Is, at best, making your program more complicated than it needs to be. At worst, it's actually reducing how much muscle you're growing. Stick around until the end of the video.
It's reducing how much muscle you're growing. You're not growing any muscle because it reached an MND size limit when you came into the gym. You understand me? It reached an MND size limit, dudeski.
I'll give you the consensus of the research on these topics.
Bold claims. Let's go. Let's go.
First,
Yes.
the concept of time under tension. This is a bodybuilder classic. Instead of focusing on the number of reps, focusing on time under tension is supposed to boost your muscle growth. Bodybuilders and influencers...
Time under tension is supposed to boost your muscle growth. How does it do that exactly? It's what?
have advocated for it for decades.
Okay, so let's just break down.
Well, how does it boost your muscle growth, the time under tension? How does it boost your muscles to grow under a time under a tension? How does it do that exactly?
Time and attention really quick, okay? So time and attention is basically the notion that the...
Are you saying you're going to put stress onto the muscle cells themselves? They're going to get stressed and then they're going to magically grow? Well, the muscle cell can only get so big. It has a myonuclear domain size limit. It would have to get a donation of these nuclei from the satellite cell, and the satellite cell doesn't really activate because there's some kind of stress there. Has to be something more to it than just that.
The duration of the entire set matters in terms of like building muscle. So basically, I've even made the point.
Let's just put it this way: there's not enough time under tension. Let's say this: there's not. Okay, you can get some of this if there's enough time under tension, but that time under tension has to be astronomically long. Like you have to walk with that weight astronomically long distances with a particular weight on your body. And it's not really conducive. It's hard to walk with that much weight on your body that long every day. See what I mean? And even then, when you walk with all that weight on your body, you're kind of, I don't know, it depends, right? If you're walking and you're relieving it. There's people from these ships, I've watched them. They would carry heavy stuff from these ships. They would go up these streets and alleys to drop this stuff off. And they all look small and they don't look big at all. I don't see their bodies growing at all whatsoever. So, because I'll tell you why. Because the muscle cell has a myonuclear domain size limit. That's the problem. Okay, anyways.
You know, I've even made the point that it's not necessarily the amount of reps, but more so the duration of the set, right? The duration of the set.
Yeah, that's what they're going to say. The duration of the set to stress. We're going to cause a stimulus or a stress to the myofibrillar, to the cell. Yeah, but the cell will get inflamed. That's all you're doing is causing inflammation in the cells. That's why people talk about this online. You're exercising, you're adapted now. Your muscles are adapted to your exercise. How do they adapt? Well, they get damaged. They don't grow in the gym. They get damaged in a gym, and then they adapt how? by not getting damaged anymore, by protecting from any more damage. That's the adaptation process. But anyway, so they're telling you that you're going to grow this under time under tension, grow. But I just told you the muscle cell can only get so big. So what exactly are you growing? I'll tell you what you're growing. You're inflaming those muscle cells. So every time you go under time under tension and you lift in the gym and you are adapted to your exercise, the only thing that you're going to grow temporarily is the inflammation in the cells, and you're causing inflammaging. You're inflammaging now, and you're walking around with inflamed muscles. That's about it. Now, if you're eating carbohydrates, which is drugs, this artificial diet, human diet that people tend to eat, the slave diet, well, then you're going to get carbohydrates loading into your muscle. If you're lifting enough, if you're doing enough repetition work to load glycogen in your muscle, it's an energy source in the sarcoplasm. Yeah, that's called sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, but whatever.
Is going to eventually bring you to failure, right? That's basically what it is.
But here's the thing: most people are not eating that much carbohydrate. They're not eating that much carbohydrates, and they're burning a lot in the gym. They're not eating enough to exceed that breakdown. Let's put it that way: to grow more of these sarcoplasmic muscles. That is also a technique. You have to eat a lot of carbohydrates to keep up with the breakdown. It has to be higher than the breakdown, so you can build these sarcoplasmic muscles.
Time under tension eventually will bring you to failure, regardless of how long.
Okay, so then show me how many people under this time under tension got massive doing it in the gym. Show me anybody that did time under tension. I'm not talking about drug addicts. I'm talking about normal people that are doing all these things and they actually got massive doing these things. Show me without carbohydrates, eating a protein diet. That's it. Protein diet, no carbohydrates. I'm not talking about growing phony muscles or anything like that. We're inflaming their fucking muscles, okay? When the inflammation is down, I want to see what they look like. Did they build their muscles? Did they build anything? No, zero. That's why everybody's complaining. That's why they're taking terkestrons, creatines. They're constantly trying to do a new plan, this plan, that exercise plan, 5x5 plan, 10x10 plan, bodybuilding plan, plan. And then they're eating lots and lots and lots of carbs because they're going to say, well, you can't get big without carbs. Well, if you can't get big without carbs, get fat. Then get fat, right? If you're lazy, get fat, yeah.
Short it is, that's what's needed. Training to failure is going to happen one way or another if you try it, right? So I'm going to hit failure by either...
Why are you training to failure? Because some asshole like this asshole and the other asshole told you that enough time under tension is going to grow a muscle. How's it growing the muscle? How is it growing? Why isn't it growing then? Why isn't it fucking growing?
Lifting something extremely heavy. If I pick up something that's 90% of my 1 rep max, I'm going to be able to lift it twice maybe. And that will bring me to failure.
Okay, I'll be able to lift it twice. That'll bring me to failure. You think that's that? Yeah, but that's not based on muscle damage. That's not based on exercise-induced muscle damage training. I don't know what fucking kind of training is this. You want to train because you want to get good to fail? To fail? You want to be good at failing in the gym? You are failing. That's why you're all failing, because you're going to fail. You're failing.
Because I won't be able to lift that heavy load. Now, if it's not that heavy...
Think about it. Why can you handle more load going down with gravity than going against gravity? Why can you handle more going down? And plus, gravity is also pulling. So you have a huge weight there, and it's pulling. See what I mean? Powerlifters, when they lift the weight up in the air, they lift it up in the air. The hardest part is to lower it slowly down to the ground. That's the hardest part. They always forego the eccentric exercise. They're only interested in the concentric. Why? Why are powerlifters only interested in concentric?
And I need to train to failure. It's going to take me repetitions to get there. And regardless of how many repetitions it is, it's going to take time to get there. We know that.
It's going to take time to get there. Then you're just adapting to the weights then, trying to get there. See what I mean? Those are separate adaptations. Exercise-induced muscle damage and adaptations in lifting a weight are two separate adaptations. And they don't work. You doing that one, trying to come in every day, doesn't work with exercise-induced muscle damage. And exercise-induced muscle damage doesn't work in training to get good at lifting heavy weight. Even though eventually with time you will be strong and lift a heavy weight if you do exercise-induced muscle damage, but it doesn't work in powerlifting. I'm sorry, it just doesn't do whatever.
If you want your muscles to grow, if you want to stimulate muscle protein synthesis, you need to elicit tension in those working muscles.
And there is some truth to
No.
it.
If you want to elicit protein synthesis in those muscles, you have to do what? Time under tension? No, because I'll tell you why. There's a reason. And here's the reason. I'll explain this one more time in this video.
According to Physiopedia, delayed onset muscle soreness. According to Physiopedia, delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, also known as muscle fever, is a sore, aching, painful feeling in the muscles after unfamiliar or unaccustomed intense exercise. This soreness is thought to result from temporary muscle damage and inflammation, commonly triggered by eccentric exercises.
It is, okay.
According to NCBI, while concentric contractions initiate movements, eccentric contractions slow or stop them. A unique feature of eccentric exercise is that untrained subjects become stiff and sore the day afterwards because of damage to muscle fibers.
So a unique feature of eccentric exercise, which we get eccentric. If you're doing reps, man, you're getting eccentric, concentric, okay? So a unique feature of eccentric exercise is that untrained subjects become stiff and sore the day afterwards, because the day afterwards, that's the DOMS, what she just talked about in the last, the computer, that DOMS stuff, whatever, unaccustomed, whatever, lifting. Sore the next day due to damage. Okay, you get sore next day due to damage. Okay. So in this section here, I don't know where it is now. Acquired by exercise, nuclei, exercise. So nuclei acquired by overload exercise precedes hypertrophy and all loss on detraining. Remember what it just said there, unique feature of untrained muscles are what? They get stiff and sore due to what? Muscle damage the next day. Okay. Well, here we are. So here we are. This is that nuclei overload shit. Look at that. Untrained, this map. Untrained, first training. Satellite cell fusion. So you are absolutely untrained. This is your first training coming into the gym. First training. They didn't say trained athlete doing an untrained exercise. They're telling you that you are absolutely untrained and this is your first training. Okay. Your absolute first training. This is you when you come into the gym. Untrained first training, satellite cell fusion. So what's going on here exactly if you're untrained? What's a unique feature of untrained muscles? They get stiff and sore due to what? Muscle damage. They got damaged and they activated the satellite cell. It fused and it donated its nuclei and did a bunch of stuff there, okay? A repair and a remodeling of the muscles. Now they hypertrophied. Look, they hypertrophied. They hypertrophied. But guess what happened? Notice here on detraining, retraining, you're not getting more of them. Why? Why is there no more fusion of the satellite cell? Want to know why? Because just a second here.
According to Singapore,
because they have a myonuclear domain size limit. So during that exercise, you reached a ceiling limit. See, a ceiling limit. MND size has a ceiling limit during what? Hypertrophic process. That hypertrophic process there in that map. Beyond which extra myonuclei are donated by what? That satellite cell. See, that satellite cell, the one that was fusing. It can't donate any more of its nuclei. The cell to support what? To support further muscle growth. To support further muscle growth. Yeah. So no matter you trying to, what he's talking about, synthesizing protein and all that stuff, good luck with that one, dude. Reach the NMD size limit, broski.
Regard time under tension, or how long your set takes. Entirely, you could arrive at the conclusion that a set of 1 rep is a great way to build muscle.
Oh, it's a great way to build muscle, but here's the problem with that. You're not building any muscle. You usually just damage muscles, but okay.
According to PubMed, the repeated bout effect refers to the adaptation whereby a single bout of eccentric exercise protects against muscle damage from subsequent eccentric bouts.
Exactly.
While the mechanism for this adaptation is poorly understood, there have been significant recent advances in the understanding of this phenomenon.
We already know what it is. It's an adaptation process. I can explain this quickly for you. So it's an adaptation whereby a single bout of eccentric exercise protects muscle from any more damage. See that? It's protected from any more damage. Okay, that's the repeated bout effect phenomenon. Now, if we go to exercise, muscle damage, and adaptation, this will give you a description. There's many more over here. There's just numerous amounts of them. Adaptation to exercise-induced muscle damage, exercise-induced muscle damage repair and adaptation in humans. They tell you a whole bunch of stuff, okay? But this one is important. Okay, so we know a novel, unaccustomed exercise has been shown to do what? Result in temporary, repairable skeletal muscle damage. That's how muscles are built. Muscles are built by getting these micro injuries, these micro damages, okay? All right, not what he's talking about. You're building muscle in the gym. If you're building any muscle in the gym, it's sarcoplasmic, it's fake muscles. So anyways, okay, so after exhaustive endurance exercise, muscle damage can be produced by metabolic disturbances associated with ischemia, but we know it's unaccustomed. See, they never say trained exercises. They say unaccustomed exercises is what gets you this damage. Okay. So what is what is one of the reasons, the part of the adaptation process? Well, way down here at the bottom, what does it say here? It says these regenerative fibers. So it says that it goes through stress susceptible fibers may be eliminated, or susceptible areas with a fiber may undergo necrosis and then regenerate. They regenerate stronger, right? So these regenerated fibers, along with adaptations in the connective tissue, may provide what? Greater resistance to further assault. You understand me? So they repaired and remodeled a lot stronger, these muscles, they are further resistance to what? Further assault, broski. Yeah, man. That's the problem. And they talk about the repeated bout effect right here. They say here at the top here, where is this? Physical conditioning results in the adaptation such that all indicators of damage are reduced following repeated bouts of exercise. See that? Recently, investigators have suggested that the prophylactic effect of training may be due to performance of a single initial exercise bout. Yeah. Following a second bout of exercise performance, 1 to 6 weeks after the first bout, there is a reduction in morphological alterations and performance decrements and a profoundly reduced elevation in plasma CK levels. Yeah. So there you go. There's a lot of stuff that's going on there. And they have some more stuff here if you want to read it. I don't know. This one's interesting too. Repair, adaptation in humans. Again, they're going to tell you here, the study examines exercise-induced muscle damage, repair, and rapid adaptation. Rapid repair, it repairs, and rapid adaptation to no more damage. Get it? So zero growth, no more growth. And they did it on these women, whatever. I don't know what they got here at the bottom. It says that in regard to the ability muscle to adapt to exercise-induce the damage, suggests that an adaptation takes place such that the muscle is more resistant to damage, and any damage that does occur is repaired at a faster rate. It is also clear that a relatively small insult will produce this adaptation. Okay. Yeah, depends. Depends on what you're doing there. So I'll use another one. There's so many of them. They tell you the same thing. The soreness stuff, muscle soreness indicators of muscle damage were assessed. Yeah. What's it say here at the bottom? What's it say here? It was concluded that the experiment designing using muscle groups should provide a greater model for rapid muscle adaptation to exercise damage. See, there you go. It adapts to the damage. No more damage. Here's another one. Adaptation. Induce muscle damage to exercise. Same thing. Soreness, and rapid adaptation to... Oh, wait. I think we went through this one. I don't know. Maybe these are two the same. Fuck it. Who knows? I don't know. They could have been the same, right? They're kind of similar. Here's another one. Very simple. Overuse. Muscular overuse is associated with structural damage of the contractile elements and reflect an delayed onset muscle soreness. Oh, yeah. The factor of inducing muscle damage. Okay. Initial damage is followed by inflammation, and regeneration. Okay. Oh, look, one bout of eccentric exercise has a long-lasting protective effect against damage induced by a second bout of exercise. Well, geez, how about that? No more damage, no more nothing, it's protected, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, the amount of muscle damage, okay, whatever. It's so protected at this point. Here's another one. Rapid adaptation. See that? Rapid adaptation. What is this? Correlates with the damage following effort, eccentric exercise, 6-month CK response, a combination of cellular factors that are involved in adaptation process. Again, yeah. Performance of one bout of eccentric exercise produces an adaptation such that the muscle is more resistant to damage from a subsequent bout of exercise. I love this one. Right there. Performance of one bout of eccentric exercise produces an adaptation such that muscle is more resistant to damage from a subsequent bout of exercise. Yeah, dudeski. That's why these are so interesting. You could read them. There's just so many of them. I mean, how could you really miss any of this? This is a good one. This one's a good one too. See this one? Exercise-induced muscle damage in humans. Exercise-induced muscle injury in humans frequently occurs from what? Unaccustomed exercise, particularly if the exercise involves a large amount of eccentric muscle lengthening contractions. Yay! Hooray! What does it say here down at the bottom? Because I just love to pass all the bullshit. Research in human studies suggests that there is either no difference between men and women and exercise-induced muscle damage in men. Okay, so they're talking about women, men, or something here. Oh, look, the repeated bout effect. It popped up again. Although the theories here explain repeated bout effect, including altered motor unit recruitment and an increase in sarcomere in series, a blunted inflammatory response and reduction in stress susceptible. They got an increase in sarcomeres. Oh, fibers, susceptible fibers. There is no general agreement so this cause. In addition, there is controversy concerning the whatever. I don't know. An adaptation right here. It says here, coupling with the muscle performance of one bout eccentric exercise induces an adaptation such that the muscle is less vulnerable to the subsequent bout of eccentric exercise. Okay. So, like I said, there's so many here, and they go on and on and on and on and on to explain this stuff to you, bro. Prevention and treatment. Yeah, damage. Anyways, I don't want to bore you here forever.
However, that's about where the good sides of the focus on time under tension end. Let's break down the concept of time under tension.
Yes,
it can
time under
actually
tension.
be
Let's break it
defined
down,
as
dude.
number of repetitions times repetition duration.
Yeah.
It's essentially the equivalent of...
And what's that going to do? You've reached a myonuclear domain size limit, and it's so protected now from any more damage even to get the satellite cell to donate extra nuclei to support further muscle growth, broski.
Set duration. Fortunately for us, over the last decade or so...
Look, let me explain this. Without those nuclei, you cannot synthesize protein. So him telling you you're going to eat protein and you're going to do time and attention, you're going to protein synthesis? Yeah. There's nothing synthesizing there because without those additional nuclei, you cannot synthesize protein, broski. Yeah.
Science has examined both the effectiveness of a number of reps and repetition tempo.
This is where evidence-based
Why do you think people write in my comment section? They write, some people, they're stupid. They write stupid things and they go, oh man, you can't get, the only way to get big is to eat carbs. Well, do carbs build muscles? What kind of muscles do carbs build?
research, yada, yada, yada. becomes kind of like redundant in a sense, okay? They're giving you a range of between 5 to 50 reps. How many of you guys do 50 reps? Just asking, right? How many people do 50 reps?
How many guys do 50 reps? And there's a lot of people out there that do 50 reps. But it may work once, but it may not work again. And again, that repair is pretty rapid.
I've been coaching for 20 years. No research done, just literally anecdotal experience with people.
I did a video on it. They did 70 reps. They did a 70 rep set. That's what they did. Okay.
A lot of people. You would almost say that I'm doing research with actual people in person and seeing the results of what's actually done. I've never done a rep range between 5 to 50 reps. That's one heck of a range.
It is one heck of a range. You would be very unaccustomed to doing such a range, would you not? Like it said there, unaccustomed exercise is known to cause what? Muscle damage. You see what I mean? If you're untrained doing 50 reps, you've never done it before, will you get this damage? Of course you will.
Muscle, provided you take that set close to failure. Hitting failure appears to be the more important part versus purely maximizing time under tension. Likewise, the most recent review paper on repetition tempo found that although a slightly more controlled eccentric or lowering phase and a slightly more explosive concentric or lifting phase may optimize hypertrophy based on some preliminary evidence, most evidence suggests that a wide variety of repetition tempos appear equally effective for building muscle. In fact, they recommend a set duration.
They're equally for building muscle. What kind of muscle? Sarcoplasmic? You ain't building any myofibular muscle there. So what are you talking about? It just says here hypertrophy. The word hypertrophy is elusive. There's two types of hypertrophy. There's myofibular and sarcoplasmic. Which one are you building?
Or time under tension per set of 20 to 70 seconds for hypertrophy.
What? Okay, first they just said that time under tension is outdated and not necessary. Anything from a rep range between 5 to 50 is good. As long as you get to failure, that's all that matters. But also that having a slightly controlled negative with a slightly controlled concentric will actually aid to more muscle hypertrophy. And then moving on to saying that...
What? Concentric. Concentric is endurance exercise. It's endurance exercise. And you're adapting to the weights. It really is endurance. It's like a factory worker lifting boxes all day. So that doesn't make any sense, because running up a stairwell is concentric. That wears you out. But running down a stairwell is eccentric. That's associated with muscle damage, yeah.
Optimal time under tension for a set should be anything between 20 to 70 seconds. My brain hurts. Isn't that time under tension? If you have a set duration...
For hypertrophy? But in muscle damage, hyperplasia comes first before hypertrophy. So that's based on exercise-induced muscle damage. That's what they explain to you. Those cells that you're counting there in that map, and nuclei precedes hypernuclei, overload precedes hypertrophy. What are nuclei? They're cells. So if you're getting more cells, that's based on hyperplasia. Yeah, man. You can't have hypertrophy without hyperplasia. You need hyperplasia to take effect so you can get an accumulation of these cells, so you have something to grow, because muscle cells have a nuclear domain limit. You need a donation of these nuclei and a repair and a remodeling.
Of 20 to 70 seconds. Okay, so how do we translate that into reps? Okay, cool. So let's say you can do between 5 to 50 reps, but the best duration is going to be between 20 to 70 seconds. Back in the day, it was actually like 30 to 50 seconds. I've been saying that all along forever. 20 to 70 seconds would be time under tension. Do you understand that? How do you say that time under tension is outdated, but then say that in the study done by Schoenfeld, the entire group of friends, they're all boys, and Schoenfeld, Nipper, they're all boys. The entire RP group, they're all friends. It's great. Awesome stuff they're doing with in the industry. Really working on evidence-based, yada yada.
You don't want to know why this guy's so dumb? Because he took cosmetics. He never learned what really worked. He has no experience as to what really builds muscles. He doesn't know even the difference between sarcoplasmic or myofibrillar. Doesn't understand this unaccustomed, untrained, unfamiliar forms. New or unaccustomed or high intensity and duration to get this damage to come back. He doesn't even know how to get it. He doesn't know anything, man. Doesn't know anything.
Yeah. The problem is that evidence-based, there are a lot of things are like hands-off.
No, it's not. There's a lot of evidence-based when it comes to muscle damage and eccentric exercise, because we know that the eccentric part is what causes the damage. The concentric part initiates the lift, but it's the eccentric that causes the damage. But remember, it rapidly adapts, so there's no more damage, therefore there's no more growth. There's no more donation of these nuclei. It reaches a nuclear domain limit. You understand me? So in that session, it only donates so much of its nuclei, and then it stops. Once they fuse, here's the thing. Once the myoblasts fuse with the myofibrillar, that's it. It's over. They're not going to split and divide anymore. That's it. So what do you need to do? You need to get a new adaptation. You understand me? And that is astronomically hard. Why? Because I just read to you. It is resilient. It's resistant from further assaults. That's why. And some of the proposed methods are the sarcomeres in number, the remodeling of the tissues and stuff, like it said there. You know.
There's no like actual interaction with people. I mean, like when you do studies, there is, but like when it comes to like, you know, doing the study with somebody over time, like I've had clients for like, you know, 3-4+ years, right? And seen the anecdotal evidence from somebody training.
Seeing the anecdotal the study, the people, the training, you know. He hasn't fucking seen anything. Doesn't know fuck all, man.
With time and attention. For hypertrophy, we'll read actually.
Yeah. You know, it's like he keeps rambling on and on about the same thing. Like, how long does this video need to be?
Before this is tempo, which translates approximately to 2 to 5 seconds of time and attention for one repetition. Therefore, according to the collective consensus.
Again, it says their level of fatigue during the sets. Fatigue training is associated with sarcoplasmic training. Yeah. If you're fatiguing muscle, then because you're an endurance athlete, you're adapted now to your exercises. You're a nice adapted slave. And so you're loading glycogen in the muscle because you're an endurance athlete, dude, lifting in the gym. Fuck.
The optimal time.
The only thing, I'll explain this one more time so people can understand. The eccentric portion is protected from any more damage now, the eccentric part. So, what exactly are you doing there? Okay, it says you're initiating the exercise with the concentric exercise, right? Yeah. The lowering part is the eccentric. That's where damage happens. But it's adapted. It's adapted to the eccentric. It's protected. If it's protected, then what are your exercises now? They've canceled out. The eccentric part has completely canceled out. There's nothing going on the lowering part. So you're literally just initiating the lift now, using the eccentric to go back to the concentric part. So what exactly are you doing there? You are an endurance athlete now. You're adapted. You're just endurance. Get it? Because concentric is associated with endurance. See what I mean? Now the eccentric part's protected. There's no more damage. There's nothing going on there. So what are you usually eating? Carbs, a lot of carbs. People eat more carbs than they eat protein or meat. They eat more carbs. And then they're swelling the cells up too. You're swelling them because you're coming in off being a lifting slave. And yet you're just pumping up your muscles and inflaming your muscles. So why do people take steroids? They take steroids because they're frustrated, because they're not building any more muscle, because they're not getting any more damage. And they don't know how to bring this damage back. That's another thing. And they don't even recognize it. They think that getting DOMS, which is part of muscle damage, is a bad thing. They go, that's a bad thing. I got DOMS. That's no good and all that. They don't even know what the fuck is going on there at that point.
Attention for strength gains should be between 2 and 20 seconds per set. So we go back to where he basically, breaks it down for us. Because we ain't evidence-based, we don't know much. We go back to what he says here. He says,
maybe you hit your peak when you won the grade 3
under tension. It can easily be defined as number of repetitions times repetition duration. It's essentially the equivalent of set duration.
all right, set duration. Fortunately, blah, 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 blah. And we go back up to the set duration. And the set duration is 20 to 70 seconds. Let's do some easy math here. Do I got my phone on me? Remember, he said anything between 5 and 50 reps, you should be able to get there anyway, right? Well, let's just actually go to where he says that.
20 to 70 seconds for hypertrophy. I guarantee that if you're doing anywhere between...
Yeah, but sometimes one set may not be enough to get this damage. It may be a small insult and it'll just repair quickly. You may get a very minor assault, like it said there. A minor assault, and then it will repair very quickly. Why does it repair very quickly? To adapt very, very quickly. Now it's just repairing, but it's not donating its nuclei. To donate its nuclei, it has to be under overload. I can explain how to get that overload, but why should I in this video? It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen if you do a bro split, okay? Forget that.
5 to 50 reps, unless you're going incredibly fast, you'll fall within this range. There is no need to focus on time under tension.
Okay, so he said anything. Let's just go back again. I want to go back again, okay?
There is no need to focus on time under tension and slow things down a ton. Fast, you'll fall within this range. Guarantee that if you're doing anywhere between 5 to 50 reps, unless you're going incredibly fast, you'll fall within this.
Let's just take 5 reps. Okay, he said, and if you're doing anything between 5 and 50 reps, you should be able to fall within that 20 to 70 second duration, which is time under tension range. Okay, five, he said at least 5 seconds. 5, unless you're going incredibly fast, 5 seconds should bring you to at least 20 seconds, right? And 50 reps would
And do what exactly, JonniShreve? Do what?
Bring you to at least 70 seconds, right? If I did 50 reps in a second each, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and maintain that, I only get to 50 seconds. How many people are doing 70-second sets? None of you guys are. I'm gonna answer a few guys. None of you guys are doing 70-second sets. I can promise you that. Let's go back to the 5 seconds. I'm gonna just push-ups. Just push-ups, all right? Push-ups, here we go. Let's do it. Let's time my push-up.
Endurance, this becomes endurance now. You adapt to it and it becomes endurance. That's what happens.
And we're gonna clock off right now. I'm gonna do 5.
Anything you adapt to becomes endurance and exercise, yes.
All right, let's go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just do 6.
Me personally, I'm not an exercise channel. I never was. I don't do exercise, man. I don't exercise. I do play sports for pleasure, but I don't do exercise, dude, whatsoever. If I ever go to a gym, it's just for a bout of a damaging exercise-induced damage bout of a. Let's just say I'm going to the gym to do an unaccustomed bout of exercise, damaging exercise. Get it? Yeah, that's about it. That's about it. That's it.
6 reps. I just did 6 reps. 6 or 7 reps. I said 6 or 7 reps. And those reps were not fast. Do you think they're fast? They weren't fast. Those are controlled. It was only 10 seconds. And am I anywhere near close to failure? No. But there's like so much more to this that they're missing. Yeah. And that's what I have a little bit of issues when it comes to like evidence-based stuff, right? Because it's like, it's contradictory. They literally just told us at the beginning of this, at the beginning.
Not the stuff I brought up. It's not contradictive, dude.
In this video, that time and attention is outdated. It's not necessarily the set duration that matters, but making sure you get to failure. Okay, so let's get to failure.
Outdated? It will work. It will work once, but it will never work again. And I just told you, depending if the assault is very minor, then it'll rapidly adapt. Remember what it said there? I don't know if I can bring this up again, man, because I don't know what I did with it. Are they still here? Yeah, they're still here. Hold on a second. Let's see what it says here. I think a minor assault, it says. It's not this one. Hold on. I can't remember now which one it was. Hold on. Here it is. This is the one from this section here. Rapid adaptation, whatever. So if you go way down here at the bottom, it says here, it suggests that adaptation takes place such that muscle is more resistant to damage, and any damage that does occur repaired at a faster rate. Why does any damage that occurs it does repair at a faster rate? I could tell you, here's what happens. If you get damage, it repairs at a faster rate. What's the faster rate? 7 days. We already know this in science. 7 days is the shortest period of time that it can repair and remodel. The longest time can be 14 days and sometimes more, depending. I don't know. I can't explain why. But anyways, it is also clear here, way at the bottom, it is also clear that a what? Relatively small insult will produce this adaptation. So even if you come to the gym and you have a lazy workout, you do something in the gym, and let's just say that you get a small insult of this damage. You get like a small insult, like it says there. It is clear that a relatively small insult will produce this adaptation. What will produce that adaptation? That it'll protect from any more damage. It'll repair rapidly. So if it's a really small one, how fast could it adapt? I don't know. They don't really say exactly. Can it be within 24 hours or 2 days? 1 or 2 days? Yeah, maybe. You understand me? Because it's really tiny. It's very tiny, so it rapidly adapts. Boom. It produces this adaptation as well. From a small insult, a tiny insult. Bah. So that's why it's astronomically hard to build muscles. And if you're going for an insult in muscles, in muscle damage, if you're trying to damage muscles, you don't want to go for a little insult, get it? You want to go for a massive one. You want to go for a nuclear overload. And untrained muscles, right? Nuclear overload. Untrained muscles. What's a unique feature of untrained muscles? They get stiff and sore due to what? Muscle damage. Yeah. Anyway.
But having said that, then go on to say that the optimal duration for hypertrophy is 20 to 70 seconds, which is the duration. That's time under tension. What are you talking?
No, that's endurance. Man, duration, endurance. Get it? Oh, fucking man. I think these people really are daft. They don't even understand the wording properly when they're speaking to you. Yeah.
What do you mean? That is time under tension. You know, time under tension is basically the amount of sets, how long it takes you to do.
Yeah, time under tension. You know, marathon runners, they're under tension too. They're endurance athletes.
Entire set. The set, the reps times how long the rep takes, right? So if I do 20 seconds, if I need to get 20 seconds for the minimum rep range of 5 seconds, that would mean that my rep speed should be...
Look, I'm not saying there's not some endurance involved in muscle damage, but it can't happen with a repeated bout, and it doesn't happen often. It has to be far apart. It has to be a periodic lifting. It's based on periodic lifting. It isn't based on consistent lifting, you being a lifting slave. An endurance athlete.
4 seconds for every rep to make 20 seconds, which would be time under tension. Now, if I did that instead of the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if I was like, hey, 2 seconds down, 1 second pause, 1 second up. So if I was 1,001, 1,002, pause, up. Those 5 reps would be that much harder, but also would reach that 20 minimum second duration. In this research study by Brad Schoenfeld, I would reach the duration. How is it that time under tension is outdated, but it tells us that 20 to 70 seconds is the optimal time under tension? for muscle hypertrophy. That is, you're telling me that's confusing? You're telling me that having time and attention is confusing? That's confusing. You just told me time and attention isn't necessary anymore, but to tell me that I need time and attention still. And it's like, oh, you need to come to failure, right? As long as we just get to failure. Okay, how do we get to failure? Please tell me how do you get to failure. Okay, there's a couple ways we get to failure. One, we put a heavy ass weight on there for you to lift. Doesn't matter what you're lifting, I don't care what exercise it is. We're gonna put on we're gonna put on like 95% of your 1 rep max. You're gonna rep that thing on twice. And you're gonna come to failure because it's that heavy. How do we come to failure after that? Well, it's gonna be time and attention, right? Because there's going to be a place that you're going to get to that's going to create you to fail during your set. And if it's not because of the load being excessively heavy,
holy shit, is that the guy who owns Facebook? Holy shit, he's fucking lifting in the gym. I can't believe it.
Going to be the amount of time you're under tension that you have the lactic acid buildup that's enough that you can no longer rep something out. If I'm wrong,
lactic acid buildup, that's also temporary hypertrophy if you're building lactic acid. I've explained this in old videos already. I talked about this. Blood flow restriction, fucking lactic acid, inflammatory response, a whole bunch of these things, the pump and all that. It's all phony. It's all phony.
If I'm wrong,
it's hypertrophy. It's considered hypertrophy, but it's fake. It's phony. Yeah.
Or I'm getting this completely mixed up, then somebody tell me I'll take full accountability and be like, yo, man, I totally just misread or miswatched what you said, and I'm completely wrong, but I'm right. And I'm repeating myself in this video that I'm only really responding to the first 3 minutes of this video. You can't tell someone out there, especially when it comes to like these science-based, evidence-based, yada, yada. I found a research paper that said time and attention is useless. It's super like kind of careless and dangerous when you have like these guys who are like science-based and they're putting out research papers, and here you go, I've done this research that says that time and attention is absolutely useless. Time and attention really doesn't matter. What really matters is that you get to failure. But also, really want to optimize your training, that your set duration should be around 20 to 70 seconds, which is time and attention. So guess what? Time and attention does matter, because if I want to get to the minimum rep range, or the minimum set duration, which is 20 seconds, and the minimum rep range is 5 reps, then my rep speed should be 4 seconds per every rep to get to 20 seconds of the lower end of the set duration.
But it won't matter because you've reached an MND size limit. You're wasting your time.
I gotta say, I don't agree. And unless someone...
Okay.
Seconds for hypertrophy. I guarantee that if you're doing anywhere between 5 to 50 reps, unless you're going incredibly fast, you'll fall within this range. There is no need to focus on time under tension and slow things down a ton.
There's no need to focus on time and attention, yet the optimal set duration is 20 to 70 seconds. I think there's an absolute place for evidence-based research and bro science, because what bro science...
It's most likely sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. That's what they're testing there. I think he doesn't understand the difference. There's two types of hypertrophy, myofibrillar and sarcoplasmic. He doesn't know that what they're testing for there is sarcoplasmic. He's not really understanding the study. When they're talking to other scientists, they're not going to tell you, oh, but by the way, it's sarcoplasmic. Yeah, which is endurance, which is glycogen loading. Muscles are just hypertrophying because the glycogen is increasing in the muscle. Therefore, the muscle is hypertrophying through glycogen loading. Yeah. I don't understand what he doesn't understand. When they said hypertrophy, they're talking there. It's not really based on myofibrillar growth, because they would mention specific things about myofibrillar, like eccentric, untrained, unfamiliar, unaccustomed exercise is associated with myofibrillar growth. Muscle damage is associated with myofibrillar growth. But sarcoplasmic? Well, that's sarcoplasmic hypertrophy growth. That's artificial muscle growth.
It brings you that anecdotal experience of in-person experience, whether you're a coach.
What's your experience other than pinning drugs in you?
Whatever, with clients, and you're seeing results from real life experience or your...
What results are you seeing? Because I haven't seen anybody that's lifting in the gym getting real results. Well, maybe they don't even know what they're getting. Some people are getting results that they just ramped up the carbs. Get it? They just ramped up the carbs. Why isn't, if protein builds muscle, why isn't everybody just eating protein, going and working out? Why? Why do they have to eat the slave food, JonniShreve? Why?
Researching and doing case studies on groups for a couple months, meeting them.
Like, why are all these so-called slave bodybuilders on the fucking steroid slaves? Why are they all fucking eating carbs? Why? Why do they eat carbs? Protein builds muscles, right? Just eat a bunch of protein and bam, muscles will grow, right? You're taking fucking steroids, right? Isn't that how it works? Because they discovered that those muscles are not growing. And so what do? They eat carbs. That's why you see them in all these videos downing carbs like a bitch, bro. Get it? 24 hours.
Is the best approach than saying one debunks the other and vice versa. When it comes down to it, guys, time and attention is still quite important. Even Brad said it. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video.
Yeah. Time and attention is important. It's not important if you're adapted. I'm sorry, man, but whatever. If you want to build real muscles. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video. Tell us what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. That's more boring shit, bro, I tell you.